like I discovered my, it was like this discovered by like watching some, music videos, and I thought Tony's code and like, what is
You know when we checked this last Saturday when a group of people were on Facebook talking about it. Because everything when you obviously Facebook and you start dying.
walked in and I'm just there.
Yeah, there's only 3 left.
Yeah. Then somebody talked about
Fried ass jacket.
I watched like a whole month.
Fried jacket. And I was like, oh, what the heck?
Like a year, like it just went a year, right?
back here and
Down live stream.
you know one of the memes that keeps coming back is 21st.
I don't even get that one. I heard that one before. Oh, I think this one gets, never heard that one.
Okay, you guys in the back, pay attention. Okay, so we're gonna go through, can I see you or no?
Yeah, it's good in the screen.
It's good?
Yeah, that's fine.
You see how
I guess you just the very bottom.
Did you record it?
There was a fight?
If you didn't record, I don't believe it.
There's a two black people.
Alright, we're gonna go through unit circles. Shush. Okay, so what happened is we're gonna go through this unit circle, but we want you to understand and not just memorize it. If you memorize it, it doesn't know anything. So if you understand what's going on, it's probably better off. So let's start with the simple one. Lenny, you guys better pay attention.
Yeah.
Here it's gonna start with a 0 degrees. Is that okay here?
Z.
You can write this on the practice one, yes. And if I go around the whole circle, that's gonna be 360 degrees. Okay, so this one's 0, 360. So half of that, half a circle is 180 degrees. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I'll slow down. You just raise your hand and I'll respond to you. Now, if you from here to here is 0 to 180, then halfway is going to be what?
90.
Good. So it'll be 90.
Say this man is
Okay, so 180. And then it's going to add 90 again, so it'll be 270. And then 360.
Okay, so we got the easy ones out.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go break into half. The 90, what's half of 90?
45.
Okay, so I'm going to go with 45. Now here, I'm just add 45 each time. So each time I'm going here, it's 45. 45, you just add 90 to get to 90. What's 90 plus 45?
135.
135, good. And then add 45, it's going to 180. Will be 180 plus 45. 225. And add another 45, it's going to get 270. And add another 45, it's going to be what?
350.
Tell me if I'm going too fast.
Oh,
shit. Sorry.
So basic.
I'm not sure about this period. That period for live stream.
Are we live
Oh,
streaming?
we're live.
Yeah. Can you watch it later?
Hey, buddy.
Okay, so here is a 45. Here's 90, 135, 180, so 225, 270, 250. So now we're going to work on a 30 degree. So if here is 90, if I cut it to 3 sections, equal section, do you see that this is equal section?
Yeah.
So if we cut equal section, so what's each section is going to be?
30.
30 degrees. So then it's going to go 30, and then here's going to be 60, 90, 120, 150. I just keep on adding 30 because I finished all of 45, I just adding 30s. Okay? Nick, pay attention. No, you're not. 210, 240, 270, 300, and 330. So now I finish all the angles. Now usually on a unit circle, the hardest part is that the part of radians. So radians you have to understand in terms of the pies. So now we're going to start with a 0. So always start with a 0 here because on x-axis is always 0. The whole circle is how many pi?
6.22.
2
Oh, the whole
pi.
circle. Yeah.
Now what's a half a circle? 1 pi.
Pi square here.
So 0, pi, 2 pi. Well, if you think about this as a pi, what is this? Half pi, so it'd be pi over 2. Does that make sense? Andrea? No, you're not paying attention. Yes, go ahead, Yubel. Okay, so if you're 0 and here is a pi, right? And here basically I just take the whole pi, cut it to half, right? If I imagine half a circle is a pi, so if I have like a half semicircle pi, and if I cut it to half, that's going to be pi over 4, right? Does that make sense? So now here's what you have to pay attention to. The x-axis is a very special axis. The x-axis could be pi, or 2 pi over 2, or 3 pi over 3, or what?
4 pi over 4.
6 pi over 6. Could be anything. Long as you have the same number over same number, then that's still equal to 1. So what we do is we're going to take that, we're going to use that same idea. So we're going to use that same idea. We say, hey, that is going to be pi over 2. This one's going to be 2 pi over 2. Are we okay? What's the next one here?
3 pi over 2.
3 pi over 2? Nicholas, you were trying to skip my class?
Skip your class.
Always.
Okay, so that's going to be 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2. What's 4 over 2? 2. So that's a simplification. That's easy. Now let's go to here. This is a pi, right? Pi over 4 because
Divided by
I take it.
quarter.
I take a quarter. Just think about money. Just think about here it's $1, which is 1 pi, $2. And here it's going to be $0.50, right? What's a half of a half?
A quarter.
A quarter. It'll be 25 cents. So it'll be 1 pi over 4. Are we okay here? Are we okay?
Yeah.
So this is a pi over 4. This is what? 2 pi over 4. 2 pi over 4 is the same thing as a $0.50 or same thing as 2 quarter, right? What is this one?
3 pi over 4.
75 cents, but what's in term
3
pi?
pi over 4.
3 pi over 4. It's like 3 over 4 of a dollar, right? And that's pi. What is pi also known as a dollar? Or we can say it's 4 quarter, can we?
Yeah.
A dollar and 4 quarter, they're the same. So what would it be here?
Five and 4.
$5 pi over 4, thank you. So that means 5 quarter. That means $1 and 25 cents. Here is what? 6 pi over 4?
Yeah.
And what's it gonna be here?
7 pi.
7 pi over 4, and the 8 pi over 4, so I finished all the pi over 4s. Anybody don't understand, raise your hand. Yes, you, Beth?
What's the 6 pi over
6 pi over 4, what is 6 over 4? Can you simplify 6 over 4?
4? Yeah.
Can you?
Yes.
What is 6 over 4?
3 over 2.
So that's where the 3 over 2 come from. So right here it's gonna be 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, 8 pi over 4. Tomorrow you're gonna have a quiz. You have 7 minutes to complete this. Yes.
Dang it, I knew he was gonna do this.
So you better pay attention, Andrea. You still like this and you still like falling asleep. No.
No, I'm awake.
So now I'm gonna start with 30 degree. 30 degree, yeah. 30 degree is gonna be what? Well, we know 30 degree is how many pi? 30 degree, if I multiply by 180 pi radian, so that's gonna be pi over 6. So we know this one's a pi over 6. Now I want you to look at the reference side. What I mean by reference side is all the things over 6. So the things over 6 is going to be all the way on this side right here. But do you know what this position is?
5/6.
Yes, how do you know that?
It's easy because you just look at the pattern.
Yeah, so this one is what?
6 pi over 6.
6 pi over 6. It's going backward, pi over 6. So if it's 6 pi over 6 subtract pi over 6, it's going to be what? 5 pi over 6. Andrea, you're still looking at your finger?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember, the first time you take this quiz, you have 7 minutes.
So for the
You cannot make a one single mistake and sign mistake. If you fail, then you got a second try. The second try is going to be 6 minutes. Third try is going to be 5 minutes. So you want to get it right the first time, or you can, yes, just this.
Wait. Can you just fill it in for the double?
But you cannot make one sign mistake, one number you cannot make a mistake. You're missing a pi is wrong. Yes. You get a 0 or 100. You don't get anything between.
So we just have to know the final degrees?
No, we have to finish. Just let me finish. So here is 5 pi over 6. Everybody agree with this? So what do you think this one is?
7 pi over 6.
Just increase 30, just increase the pi over 6. So it's going to be 7 pi over 6. Because this is 6 pi over 6. This is 7 pi over 6. Now I'm going to ask a really hard one. Let's go with Joshua. What do you know about this one? Don't look at your paper. I know you already filled in. What do you think this one is?
It would be 11 pi over 6.
Perfect. 11 pi over 6 is perfect because 12 pi over 6, go back pi over 6, will be 11 pi over 6. So you have to understand the symmetries. Now let's go to pi over 3. So here it's going to be pi over 6. You think about this is pi over 6. 30 degree. What's 30 degree relationship with 60 degree? You just double it, right? If you double pi over 6, what am I going to get?
2 pi over 6.
2 pi over 6. But 2 pi over 6 can be simplified down to what?
1/3.
1/3. So it'll be pi over 3. Two pi over 3.
Yeah.
Because I'm just adding another 60 degree, right? I'm going to add another 60 degree. I'm going to get here, which is what? 3 pi over 3, which is perfect. What's the next one? What's this one?
6 pi over 3.
4 pi over 3.
4 pi over 3. Do you see that? I'm always doing everything in 3s now. So this one's going to be 5 pi over 3. So you just get done with the hardest part of this unit circle. If you understand the radians, everything else is going to be a lot easier. So let's talk about what we learned. Oops. What we learned. Crap. Did I just mess everything up? No? Okay. Kind of shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's okay. A lot. I'll zoom in, you're right.
Zoom out. I see what you're doing.
Is that better? Okay, so now let's look at and figure out where is everything else. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this triangle, look at the butterflies. And there's a butterfly here, you guys don't see it, but butterfly is right here.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's a triangle.
Do you see that? And there is a butterfly here.
Oh.
I've actually noticed that.
So it looks like the butterfly we
He's
do
a
the other
fade.
time.
But we're gonna call this short and fat butterfly. Short and fat. Who's fat here? Lenny's fat.
Bro, you
But he's not
got
short,
that
so.
Why do we call it
Who's
You're all
short?
skinny, so I'm
I'm
good.
tall and fat.
No, we're tall skinny. Who's tall skinny?
I am.
Peter's tall and
I'm
skinny.
tall
Good.
and
So Let's go with, this is short and fat. Do you see how this is a wider wing compared to the other butterfly? There's 3 other versions of butterfly, but this is the widest version of it. This is the fattest version. But how do I know this unit? So let's start with the simple unit. What do I know this unit is? So think about it. This one is what? Oops.
Yeah, what will I draw on the board?
Okay, I'm not gonna draw it for here.
The
So,
video won't see it.
Then
Oh,
change
yeah.
it.
Would you like me to move the camera? You got
Yeah, you got it.
so let's look at it. If I have the 30 degrees, right? So if I have a 30 degrees, if you look at this is a 30-degree triangle, 30-degree things. Let's talk about what happened here first. What do you think the unit here?
1, 0.
1, 0. Why is 1, 0? Because that's the middle part of that Cartesian grid. How about here on the top? 0, 1, good. Let's fill in some easy one first. And let's fill in here. What is this one?
0, -1.
1, 0.
Negative.
Oh.
And 1, 0.
And then this one here?
0, -1.
0, -1. Thank you. So those are the easy one. But let's talk about that triangle that I drew the dotted line over there. That dotted line, this one is 30 degree, would you say? Because this one's about 30 degree. Because they say 30 degree here, this must be 30. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
So, what's this length? How long is this length? Can you know? Anybody know how long is this length? Which is, how long from here to here?
It's 45. Is it?
How long is it?
60.
Who says 1? Good job, it's 1.
Nice! Yeah, right?
Jesus Christ, Nick, we're on line. Oh.
Okay, so if this is 1, that's good. This is 60 degrees, right?
Oh, man.
But we know the ratio for 30, 60, 90. What is 30, 60, 90 ratio? 30, 60, 90 ratio is going to be
That's 2x.
30 is facing x, this one's facing 2x, this one's facing square root 3x. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
So now, if this is 1, what do you think? What do you think? 1 is equal to 2x, right?
Yeah.
What is x?
1/2.
1/2. So what is 1/2? 1/2 is here. 1/2 is right here. That's how tall is it? It's short and fat, but it's actually half tall.
1/2 times square root 3.
1/2 times square root 3. Good job. So 1/2 times square root 3 is going to be square root 3 over 2. So this is the x units. This is x distance. This is the distance from here to here. Do you see that? This is this triangle. So the far as how fat is it? It's going to be this fat. Square root 3 over 2.
Okay.
And this part is going to be 1/2. But what's the nice thing about that? If you know that one, you know 3 other ones. They are symmetric. What do you think this one is?
The same thing with negative.
Which one's negative? X is negative or Y is negative? X is negative, right? So it'll be negative square root 3 over 2. And this is a 1/2. How about this one? How about this one?
Both are negative.
They're both negative, so square root 3 over 2, still negative. And how about this one here? Positive, negative. So it'll be square root 3 over 2 and the 1/2, negative. Are we going from first quadrant? If you understand first quadrant, you understand the rest of the quadrant. Now I'm going to go to the average butterfly. Average butterfly is looking at it right here. We'll just take the first one here. Okay? So we're going to erase this part. We're going to say, hey, how are we going to take care of that? Well, we're going to go, this one is 1, and this one's 45 degrees, and this one's 45 degrees. What do you know about ratio about 45 degrees? What do we know? From last time, from last notes. The ratio for the hypotenuse for 45, 45.
1 x.
45, 45, and 90.
45, 45, 90.
The legs are equal, and then the square root of 2 times x.
Square root of 2 times x.
Yes.
But square root of 2 times x is equal to 1, right? What is x?
1 over the square root of 2.
Can I rationalize it? So that makes this side square root 2 over 2. That makes that the square root 2 over 2. That makes it like an average. You're not too fat. You're not too tall. It's the average. So it's the same across. Same type of butterfly, same type of wing, and same type of length. So then you got square root 2 over 2 here. Square root 2 over 2 here. Are we okay here? What makes this one? Negative square root 2 over 2. Square root 2 over 2, right? What makes this one? Negative square root 2 over 2. Negative square root 2 over 2. What makes this one? Square root 2 over 2, comma, negative square root 2 over 2. We only had the last one to go. The last one is tall and skinny. It turns out the tall and skinny and the fat and short, they are the same. It's different, it's inverted. It's same triangle. It's same 30, 60, 90 triangle, same type of hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always equal to 1. So therefore, if I look at this triangle, do you guys see this triangle versus the first triangle? So this is the triangle here I'm looking at, and versus this triangle. What is the difference between those triangles? They are different orientation, right? So therefore, the value is going to flip. So it's going to be 1/2 and square root 3 over 2, and then you're done. So negative 1/2 square root 3 over 2, and negative 1/2 square root 3 over 2, and 1/2 square root 3 over 2, negative. No, this one's negative here.
Negative.
Okay. Joshua, can you turn on the light in the back?
Oh, dang.
So do you understand this? Tomorrow you have 7 minutes. The best shot is to get it done in 7 minutes. That means you have to study hard today. The people who don't get the first shot at 7 minutes, you're gonna get 6 minutes left to finish this one. You cannot make a single mistake. You're supposed to finish the whole thing in 4 minutes and double check your answer in the rest of the 3. But guess what? If you didn't do it right the first time, you have the second time to do it. You got 6 minutes.
Is it all in the same class period?
Not in the same class period. It's gonna be random. So the time is gonna be random. Tomorrow is the only one I'm gonna announce that's gonna be having. So the best shot that you have to get 100 on this class for anything that you ever done in this class, this is it. You can get 100 or 0, and you want to do it the first shot. The first shot is 7 minutes. So if I were you, I'll give you the template. You got 1 extra 1. You can practice now without looking at it. Think about the logic behind it when you're doing those stuff. Okay? So you should practice 1 now, and then tomorrow you're gonna get it done in 1 shot. If you don't, guess what? It's gonna be 6 minutes. And if you fail again, I'm not giving you 0. I'll let you retake it. But what's next time? 5 minutes.
Then
Even if it goes to 1 minute?
So it's working against you the longer it takes. You want to do it within time, which is 7 minutes the first shot. And please don't tattoo it on your foreheads and your arms, your legs, your skirts, whatever.
You will be checking skirt.
I won't be checking skirt, sorry. But look, you can do it by yourself. This is the things that you can get in the
Are you
first
doing it now?
7 minutes, and you can get your first 100 on any math class, any math you take this year.
You're waiting for who's bringing the dress tomorrow.
Chris is gonna wear a dress. I'll check your skirt, Chris.
Alright, I'm just gonna look over you. Hope I'm
From last week?
Chris, I'll check your skirt.
I just
I
know.
Okay, so get an empty one and start working out. Think about the logic. If you need another one, also you need to work out here too. The formula, I will come back and test you again. Last time it's 30 points of your test. Right?
We didn't get out all that.
Yeah.
No, it's about 10 points.
So try to do it yourself again.
That's all I'm doing right now. It's just
Anybody want an extra copy?
Yeah. I'll pack mine in. It's really in my bag. We balance even like 2 minutes. So 30, 15, 15, 30. Hey, Michelle, can I use my phone this time? Time myself? Can I use my
So
phone?
right now, don't practice. Right now, oh, you want to practice now? You
Yeah,
can.
time myself.
That's fine. Just put it away after you're done.
Yeah, I got you. It's still pretty easy. Alright. You wanna do it too?
Anybody else see any extra one?
Can I get more than one or more than two? Oh.
I can get you. Well, you should have paid attention in class.
No, no, I have all of it except for the.
Yeah, this one you should know too. That would have to get.
Tomorrow?
No, maybe not tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't get
But it's not tomorrow.
You should give me my test.
So I'll pass back.
I'll tell you your name.
It's simplified squirrels.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. Around there.
Chris. Finish this. You have to know your units are coming tomorrow, so.
I had to do everything on my own. Everything on my own. Word from her.
She doesn't like reading this.
Yeah,
You guys like that? Yes. You can work out the process. I'll pass it back.
he will breathe like.
Yeah, like, don't breathe.
Okay, but got something now at least. How she got?
Lenny.
You just have to like memorize all this.
Okay, I got. I mean, I got all the easy buy. You got memorize. You gotta memorize that. I mean, like, Louis Strengths. If you now, you can get to it. No. But it's, well, look, if you look at it like this though, just remember on the first one, like the fat butterfly, square root 3 over 2 and 1 half. And it's the same solo. You just gotta change the negative number. Then just remember the square root 2 over 2. Yeah, square root 2 over 2. Then just remember the negative sign. Then for the top of the line, put the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
I wanna die.
I'll play it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go hard. You guys go down.
Where's Maury?
Bro, it's gonna take like, I don't know, like 3 minutes to get the angles and the radians. We're just gonna take the rest of the time just to get those outside.
You guys your radius, after study for all this, it's easy.
Well, it's the
All you gotta do is remember these.
because the actual name of the song is just a number.
Sebastian Maury.
Yeah, and if you don't pass the first time, you never pass it. Sebastian, come on. I know you did well. You gotta send me.
Oh. What's the next one? One. What'd you get? One, what's your last name?
I have to go. Looks like almost average. I could bomb this.
Make sure it's wrong, 'cause I didn't do it though.
Remember? Everything else except that. It's like that.
7124. What's 7124?
Yesterday it was cold up here, today it's
Side.
Specify this. I'm very skeptical, but very, very much.
Well, I guess, go ahead, tell me.
97.5.
Dang it,
Very
what then?
I'm so skeptical.
So annoying.
You have to find the slope of it. It's like so weird. Oh, I got one. It's negative. It is negative. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's renewable. So it could be there, right? I could very old. I feel like I want to kill myself. Oh, that's why we want to use you and me to carry the team down. Other teams. See? I'm gonna get a little bit too much.
Yeah.
What would you do if you had 70 billion?
I would require that all the way.
That's what I said. You made fun of me.
Oh my goodness.
I was serious. My mom has always.
Yeah, are you